Hello everybody, I'm OCDsaster and this is OCDsaster Blue, my Sonic exclusive channel where everything we do here is Sonic related, so if that sounds like something your speed, consider subscribing and checking some other videos out after this one. Right before Sonic Racing CrossWorlds officially released, I did a video on my top 5 concerns for the game, and now that the game has been out for quite a while and I have played countless hours of it, I wanted to go back and see if those concerns were necessary or if I was just a worrywart that was too negative before the game released. And my answers might surprise you. So, what were my top 5 concerns for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds? The 5th concern was that the extreme gear would be too underutilized and not fun to play in the game, that they would be not broken, but quite opposite, just not as powerful or as useful as the vehicles and other machines. And some of you really made some valid points in that first video in the comments saying, what about the opposite? What if the extreme gear is too powerful, you don't have as big as a hit window, and so they're actually the meta for the game? Now, I'm no expert at stats, I'm just a casual Sonic Racing player, but I do think that they are not busted or overpowered, and they're also not that weak either. Choosing the extreme gear, or the boost type machine, as it's called in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, is actually kind of a trade-off. Yes, you're a little bit more fluid and able to avoid getting hit as much, and you have more of a boost kind of, gimmick where you accelerate at quick speeds. However, the controlling is a little bit more loose in the sense that you can easily take a turn too sharply and fall off. The, responsiveness of the controller, I personally think, is a little bit different than that of other machines that are kart-based. So I do think it's a well-balanced machine type and fits right in, and it doesn't really have any issues. It's not overpowered, it's not underpowered, it's just right, which I love to see. Speaking of controlling, that was my 4th concern for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds before it came out, was that the controls were going to be clunky and it wasn't going to actually feel like you're in a car or flying in the air or on a boat, and I have to safely say that this shouldn't have been a concern at all. They nailed it, and I figured that out when I did the open beta test. They really nailed the controls on this, and I really like it. The only issues I ever have is, I think it's because it's a wireless controller. I'm not 100% sure yet, you guys can let me know, but I play on PS5 and it's a wireless controller, a Bluetooth controller, and so sometimes it reads my turns wrong and I just go into a wall. I don't know if that's the game or if it's just my actual hardware, my actual controller, but when it actually comes to feeling through the machines and really feeling like you're driving on a course, on a boat in the water, or soaring through the air, they did it. They knocked it out of the park. It feels appropriate for each type of transformation that you do, and I have no complaints in that regard. My 3rd concern for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds was that the servers were too slow. And I have to say, now that we're in a couple weeks, maybe even a month after Sonic Racing CrossWorlds has been released, the servers are slowing down a bit. It's taking a little bit longer for matchmaking and putting me into matches, but I'm also not quite sure how much that correlates to my rank. I'm not a high rank by any means. I'm a C rank right now, a filthy casual scum, but it does seem like, depending on the time of day too, which makes sense, it's harder for me to get into lobbies, but once I'm in there, I don't have any issues. I'm not, disconnecting. There's no network interruptions. The only thing that I keep getting is this glitch where it doesn't give me the first power-up, it gives me the second one, and so I can't use any of the power-ups and can't get rid of it, and that is very annoying, especially when you're trying to grind and you're bagging and you're in the lower ranks, the lower places, and you can't use your item, you're pretty much screwed. So that's the only real issue there. But when it comes to the server, it hasn't been a concern yet. I would like to see, as the player count drops, as people start getting less interested in this game, what the lobby and matchmaking is going to be like. But as far as server health, it has been fine. Leading on to the next concern that I had, which still involves the online play, is that there would be sweats, Smurf accounts, and people that are trying too hard. And I think this is a valid concern I had, and it's still something that is being tested out. Yes, there are certain gadgets that really can make or break a race. There are people that are sweats and try really hard and, you know, are really cracked at the game, but that's any real online game out there. I have won a few races. I'm normally in the middle, you know, around 5th place, 6th place, but I think that's pretty much fair and balanced. I'm not always losing races tragically, and I'm not always winning races a lot. So I think the balancing and the ranking system is actually doing well for now. As far as meta, you all are aware the monster truck is definitely one of those things that gets memed to death and that everyone uses. And there are certain metas and certain power types and gadgets and stuff that I am not too aware of. I think it's good that I haven't noticed a brokenness in the game yet. There probably is some for the people that are more astute and competitive playing than I am, but so far I have not seen much game-breaking stuff. There have been people on courses that just smoke my ass, but I've also smoked other people's asses, so I am just going to kind of say this is still a slight concern, but I'm not nearly as concerned as I was at the beginning. It's something to look out for as I rank up, but so far, not that bad. And last but not least was my major concern for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, which was I wasn't actually going to have fun. And I said that's an important thing that I'd have to play the game to find out. And I was concerned that I wouldn't actually like it. I can safely say that I really enjoyed this game. It does get frustrating as you do faster Grand Prix, go against tougher players and higher arrival levels, but that provides a challenge and kind of gets you to try to do better and learn more strats. This game is so good. The content, for the most part, is just mwah. I would go more into it, but I want to do more review type videos, so I'm going to save that for a little bit later. I already did a Sonic speed review for this game, where I touch over some stuff. I do own Mario Kart World, and I can say that I play this game far more than I play Mario Kart World. They are different types of games, but I can tell you the content is so much more vast, and there's so much more things you can do in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds versus what you can do in Mario Kart World. Not saying that it's better than Mario Kart World, but I'm also not saying Mario Kart World is better than Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. That'll be for another video. But yeah, this one, I have fun. It's not a concern anymore. I put so many hours into this game. You guys see all the content from CrossWorlds I put on here. I wouldn't keep doing that if I wasn't enjoying the game. Sure, there's days where I want to throw my controller because of how difficult some of the races are, but that's just the gamer experience. So, with that being said, those were my 5 concerns before playing Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. I was worried that the extreme gear was going to be too underpowered. Turns out it's pretty balanced, pretty even. I was worried that the server health was not going to be great. Turns out it's pretty dang good. I was worried that there was going to be a meta in which people were just going to crack the online and just completely destroy everyone in every race. So far, that hasn't been too much of a concern. There was another concern I've had. I only gave you 3. I had 5, and that tells you, the controls. Yes, the controls, not a concern at all. It feels absolutely great, fantastic. And then me having fun, not a concern at all. So it looks like in the previous video, I was a negative Nancy, I was a worried wart, I was a hater. No, with all things considered, I think that it's great to go into these things very skeptical until you actually play the game, and then be able to change your opinion once you have played it, which is what I did, because I had these concerns. Sega and Sonic Team proved my concerns to be invalid, and now I can report back and happily say that I was wrong. And I think that that is a very important skill, and I'm not just trying to pat myself on the back or glaze myself up, but I think as video game fans, Sonic fans specifically, it's okay to have opinions on things and then change them over time based off of experiences and stuff like that. And I don't regret doing that top 5 concerns video because I didn't want to just completely glaze a game that hadn't came out yet, and I wanted to remain skeptical. and now I can come back and glaze the game because it earned it. It just feels so much better, right? Isn't it better to earn the glaze than to already be glazed and then everyone's like disappointed? So yeah, with that being said, let me know down below in the comments, guys, what were your concerns before this game came out, and then did the game just kind of prove you wrong? I'm very happy. If I could say out of a percentage how much of my concerns were actually, you know, still something to be worried about, it would be like 25% at most. I'm very happy with how this game came out. There's still flaws. I'm not saying it's a perfect game, but where my major concerns were, it was pretty much a relief. With that being said, I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya!